Aha! We're live. Let me change a few settings here so I don't kill my internet. Why do we? Okay, something's wrong with the encoding. May stream doga days has not enough video data. Am I buffering? Is that a thing? Or do I have significantly bad buffering? Hold on, give me a moment. Had to get a fan up in here. Old Truck's in the chat with hype, then some ancient Egyptian sort of vase, and then some statue face, moyai, amphora, place of worship. You live. Alright, that's cool, that's cool. Let me check if I'm... Let me check, my... to see if I'm... What's the word I'm looking for? Buffering. That's a word. Twisted's coming in a short while. We're just sort of waiting on him. What's my name? Primus Prime 22. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next, number 4 episode of Primus Prime Time, the show that makes God regret promising to Noah that he wouldn't destroy the world again after the Great Flood. I have a Hot Pocket here that I'm just going to finish real quick. Like that. I didn't time my eating right. I apologize. Sponsored by Chips Ahoy, I see. Party size, no less. I have a strong affinity towards party size. Alright. What's in the news today? For one, is the music too loud? The music sounds too loud. Let me check. Mic is Blue Snowball. Desktop audio is headphones. Music's a bit too loud for my taste. Or maybe I just have my own... Yeah, my own volume's way too high. Alright, there we go. That's much better. We can say goodbye to the Primus has an old, outdated phone meme now. Because we got a phone, my dudes. I don't know how to use it, you know. I'm a fool. I'm a caveman with technology far beyond his own means. Let's see, it's got a nice little Tokyo night over there. And then my home screen is a little bit of that sky tree in Tokyo. Tokyo Dawn. Now, we're really just waiting on Twisted, because without Twisted, nothing can happen. Because Twisted's the crux of today's topic. And, can you stall for 10 minutes? How long have I been going for? 4 minutes? We just gotta stall for, like, 4 more minutes. The phone emoji. You've entered the modern era? Yes, finally. 2018 marked the beginning of the technology age. Now today's topic is going to be a little bit spicy. And this is sort of the reason why I chose Twisted as the co-host, because he's going to keep things spicy. Because I don't want the Primus Primetime series to be too afraid of going to the realm of politics. You know politics makes everything better, right? Right? Can I get some clapping emojis in the chat? You know, Twisted's not afraid to say his mind, and I think that makes for a good, entertaining co-host. So we're going to go into the topic on the anniversary of the Columbine shooting. We're going to be talking about gun policies in the United States. And I didn't want to put the gun question as the title of the video because that would demonetize the video. So I replaced the word gun with the word pew pew. And YouTube still demonetized this stream. It demonetized it before it even began because it somehow knew that the pew pew was a gun. There's nowhere in the metadata is there a gun. The only thing I can think of is the thumbnail, which has an anime gun with a photoshopped twisted head on the person that's holding the gun. So if it can tell that an anime gun is a gun from the thumbnail and say, nah man, you can't get money on this, then we have a problem. Clap, pew pew question. That's what I'm talking about. Sort of like the Jewish question, but only for the pewish question, I believe. And we only gone for 6. This is why I do this with a co-host, because I can't be entertained by myself. Anything else in the news? Yeah, I wanted to. This is sort of since episode 1, we've kind of been on like the upward climb of the first season of Primus Prime Time, where we get everything out of the way, so you get a taste of what this is. I don't want to be afraid to enter politics onto the channel. Oh, not onto the channel, onto the stream. But I didn't want to stick it like real early in the beginning because I don't want to give people the impression that this is a politics only stream. So I had it sort of, you know, episode 4. I brought in the co-host Ultrox Infinity for episode 3 because, you know, I wanted to do guests, but if I did it by the second episode, people will think, oh, he's just shaking up the guest every episode. And I'm open to the idea of co-hosts like we saw last episode. But, you know, Twisted's still the primary co-host. So that's why I wanted the first episode to be sort of talking about the stream, the nature of the show, and with Twisted. The second episode with Twisted, and I picked a topic that Twisted was familiar with. So Twisted would do a little bit of the dominating of the talking. And then episode 3 was where I was introducing, you know, a co-host, you know, sort of that topic. And then episode 4 is sort of entering the more political realm. Because I don't want any topic to be off the table on Primus Prime Time. Episode 5, I believe, I might be doing a much more of the talking, and then from that point on, me and Twisted are going to be collaborating on, you know, what sort of ideas we want to talk about. And Twisted's still not here yet. I know I'm doing this weird thing where like I have to stop because there's like something in my chest. Whenever I eat anything, it messes up my talking. I don't know why. It's like, I'm sure there's a word for it. It's not indigestion, it's not regurgitation, but it's just, I know if I keep talking, I just feel something bubbling up in my chest, I guess, I don't know. And we still don't have Twisted, okay. And Twisted has been doing a lot of research up until this video, this episode. So, the way this might work out is me just asking questions, because I formulated a lot of questions, and maybe he can answer my questions based off his findings. And now we got a school and we got a gun. That's what I'm talking about. How about I just show you guys one of my favorite YouTube videos? Let's look for that. You just gotta look up Das Rat. How do I want to show this is the question. Let me mute my desktop because, you know how my thing lags when I try to start a video. And how the video starts playing before I get a chance to pause it. Now how do I want to show this? Let's try. Can I do that? Yes. Alright, let's do this. Let's mute the music. Or pause the music. One of the best YouTube videos, in my opinion. I'm just gonna bring my... That's the border. Bum bum. Bum bum.
6 million who the Holocaust Holocaust.
Are you saying the Holocaust is a joke?
It's a joke. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
The Holocaust is a damn joke. The Holocaust is a joke. Hitler, yeah, cry, white boy. Heil Hitler. You don't understand nothing. That's right. You didn't do it. You didn't do it.
That's just one of my favorite videos on YouTube. That's right. They're just all. It's like the seagull from the highly reputable establishment Negro News. Yes, but it's like those seagulls from Finding Nemo. They're like mine. That's just a cacophony of that. That's right. That's right. That video makes me laugh every time. It probably shouldn't, but whatever. How did I know it was gonna be Nazi related? What isn't this? I guess it's kind of Nazi. Oh, I love the sing-song element in the dude's voice.
6 million who the Holocaust.
The Holocaust. Okay. Where is Twisted? This is what happens when Twisted's not here. Oh boy. How long have I been? 9 minutes and 48 seconds. Okay. He still has some. He told me to stall for 10 minutes. If I go beyond 10 minutes, we have to fire Twisted. I don't think we can fire Twisted. That's right. That's right. It's... I like to think that's a normal scene one can see if one goes to a large city. Okay, I've been streaming for 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, Twisted, you're... Time to get... I want some clapping emojis in the chat. Get Twisted fired. Darn you, Twisted. 7 p.m. every Friday. Friday. Is that showing up on the OBS? No. Because I have to keep the, Oh. Hold on, let me check this. Oh, haha, there we go. That's right. There, fixed. Hashtag fixed. Oh, we have a call. Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, excellent. Let me get your...
Excellent.
Let me try to fix your... you're kind of quiet.
I am always quiet. I have no idea why. Alright, I turned it up on my end.
Alright, that sounds a little bit better.
Because I know the last 2 times I've been listening to you, you've been really low.
Hmm?
Alright, there we go. That's about as high as I can go before I start peaking.
Ah, gotcha. Let me get all my things up. Oh, and Ultrox has clapping emojis just in time. We were gonna have to fire you.
You can try.
You have tenure. We can't fire you.
You can try.
Oh, we already got one.
I'm like that non-speaking math teacher at college.
The non-speaking math teacher? Is that a
non-English speaking?
Oh, okay, yeah. You can try. We have one dislike.
We can't.
We have one dislike in the video already, but to be fair, I did show a video of some black people hailing Hitler. So, you know, the beginning of this stream I think would be fun for you to rewatch once this is all over.
This is YouTube. I can go right now and rewatch it.
Well, you're also in the middle of the stream right now, so...
Yeah, I'll also have that to go do.
Yeah. Also, we are already demonetized. We were demonetized before this stream began.
Was it because of the picture of me with a gun?
I think, but... Because there's... I said pew pew everywhere else. The only way YouTube could tell that this was gun-related was the thumbnail of an anime gun. Which, by the way, I like this thumbnail. It's one of my favorite thumbnails I've ever made.
It looks really good.
Thank you. I spent like 15 minutes.
I like that picture. Actually, I want the. What's the resolution on that?
720.
720. It's okay for a wallpaper. Send it my way if you don't mind.
All right, I will. Just remind me after the stream.
No problem.
Let's see. All right, how long have I been live? 13 minutes. All right, let's. Today, on the anniversary of the Columbine massacre, we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about. I don't have a strict wording for the topic, but you know, gun violence in America, school shootings in America, gun policies in America, whatever, just that sort of sphere.
Pew Pew debate.
The Pew Pew Question, rather.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Sort of like the Jew question.
I happen to look at this like this. Okay, so real quick, just anybody that noticed this or not? When you're on Discord, you can see the people up top, like who you're talking to. So what I see is my little image right in front of Primus's, and it's like you're looking at me like disappointing.
Well, okay.
You're the right one going, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Pew pews in America, says Ultrox. That's about right. So I guess.
In America.
I guess we can start off with. You have any opening statements you want to make about the topic, Twisted Ambition?
So about gun rights or gun violence or which one?
Anything you want to give.
They're all separate. They're all a separate deity together underneath the same umbrella.
Just go wherever you want to.
Guns be controlled. And you know, personally, I don't feel though they should. Actually, I actually think there might need to be like less rules and less laws on them. But I have been reading, I have been understanding the opposite side of this. I do understand that, you know, those affected by gun violence do feel very strongly about this. But I can also say that, you know, the other side of the coin, people who like, you know, want less guns or not want less guns, want less gun laws and that kind of thing. They feel just as patriotic and just as I don't really know how to put that. We all deserve gun.
we all deserve a gun.
We all deserve gun.
All right.
We want a gun. You know, that kind of crap.
Should we manually require people to have a gun?
Sweden did it for a while there until they said they
thought it was Switzerland.
Switzerland, you are correct. Switzerland was that way for a while then until they elected what's his fuck into office and let the Muslims in, and now their rape has gone up like 800%. Their public rape, their crime rates have gone up. I don't know if that's a thing on guns themselves or Muslims. I'm not sure which one that's a commentary on, but both I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure Switzerland has a standard head of state electoral system. They're a confederation. I think they have like maybe a few heads of the whatever legislation body they have, but I don't think they have.
I didn't look into their laws. They said they voted in, you know, these gun laws. Is what I was reading.
Gotcha.
So I don't know that it's a, you know, house kind of deal.
Right. I guess I can ask one question that's been on my mind that I don't really have an answer for, and that is, okay, so in the United States, we see a lot of school shootings. It's almost become synonymous with American culture. I was watching the NHK like a few days ago. It was the one when there was the YouTube headquarters shooting, and the broadcaster started with what translated to, and now another shooting from America. I'm like, oh, wow. So, but looks like the Americans are at it again.
Oh shit, more dead kids. Oh well.
But
good job, America.
But specifically in the context of school shootings, I asked myself, why are there so many school shootings in America? I'm like, is it because of the gun availability? Well, I didn't hear much about school shootings in Switzerland when they had their gun policies. Other countries with guns don't necessarily have that many school shootings as America. Well, maybe it's a mental health issue. Well, other countries have mentally disabled people or people who need mental health. And they don't... Sure, there'll be murders from them, but not like widespread shootings.
Oh, we got classes. They go on a lot of field trips around here.
And even when it comes to like the demographics of who we see doing school shootings don't often reflect demographics relating to normal gun violence. For example, I believe it is the black male in America that does the most gun violence, and yet I believe, and I haven't looked at the statistics, I believe it's the school shootings are mostly... I haven't heard too often of black males doing school shootings. You know, the meme is sort of that it's always a white guy.
It kind of is.
Yeah. So that leads me to my question: why do you think there's so much issues with, I guess, school shootings in America specifically?
Okay. Well, I can actually, that one's pretty simple. One, schools are known anti-gun zones. Those tend to be look, criminals in particular, most of them are cowards. 100%. Especially if you've never done a crime in your life, but you want to do something bad, you're gonna go for the easiest target. What's easier than an area that has no way to defend themselves? Besides the one school down in Florida that now arms every classroom with a bucket of rocks.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, good job, guys.
My university's policy is actually to throw items at the shooter in a situation. I'm like, wow, throwing items against bullets sounds like a great idea. Let me just throw a book.
I think I'd rather bring a knife to a gunfight, quite honestly.
Yeah. If only we could throw, like, really small pellets at them and have a method of firing these fast pellets. Maybe.
What is that called? I'm gonna call it a POW stick.
A POW stick, a pew pew device, you might say.
I'm gonna start inventing a POW stick for these schools, and it's basically just a long, pungy stick with a bullet at the end of it. With some kind of primer. The minute it hits, like a spear hits, it's just gonna fire the bullet into the person. But anyways, they're gonna find the easiest route. Just like think of the way a water flows. It's gonna find the route of less resistance. It's not gonna try to go over all these rocks, but there are all these rocks being the guns and whatnot. They're gonna go to the easiest route, which is this nicely sloping slope. You know, it's gently sloping slope. And the gun-free zones are that. I personally believe that every teacher, every like, at least one person in the hallway, you know, every person, because usually schools are breaking up into hallways and stuff like that, should be armed, whether with a 9mm or, I wouldn't say a rifle by any means, just because there's tight quarters, you need some kind of mobility. And, you know, these handguns being what's used to stop potential threats to these students. Now, given doing this, you're now asking your teachers to put themselves in the line of fire, not only for themselves, but for these kids. Therefore, pay them more.
Well, I can sign up for the paying more part.
No, you're going to a different country. It didn't count for you.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Doesn't count for you anymore, man.
Doesn't count for me.
Where you're going, they have big, like, sticks with this big, like, half-moon circle on them. I'm actually not kidding. I forget what they're called.
I'm talking about like a sickle?
No blade, just a pole, essentially. A pole with like a half moon thing to like keep the knife like X amount of feet away from me. The whole, you know, adage, you know, I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. That's kind of what you're doing. I'll look it up later on to see what it is actually called.
So
there's a video of like 4 teachers on these sticks keeping a knife wielding guy out of school like at bay. Liberals have been posting around all over the place saying like, this is what we need to do, you know, yes, we can do.
Ultrock, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but you see that Transformers comment? You know what to do. Wipe them out. All of them.
Would you rather stuck in a room with...
There we go, Ultrox.
Ironhide, okay, it's gone.
Excellent work. Let's see,
1 minute. Fuck. Okay.
Let's see, so, let's talk about those gun-free zones.
Okay.
I'm sure other countries have. Well, okay, how about let's give an example of a country that has no guns. Let's say the United Kingdom. To some extent, the entire country is a gun-free zone. Yet,
To some extent, yeah.
yeah, and
We can also use Australia as an example.
yeah. And you made the claim that what's the word? These gun-free zones sort of attract these shooting events.
Yes. Unfortunately, human nature is that of violence. I hate to say that, but it's kind of just how we are. If you're not getting way, you feel like you've been wronged by somebody or society, you're gonna try to get back any way you possibly can. And quite honestly, I can't fault the kid down in Florida too much. Reading some of the bully accusations and stuff like that. I get him. I am a big advocate against bullying. I honestly probably had the same thoughts he did back when I was in middle school and freshman year and stuff. I wasn't respected in school until I beat the shit out of 3 to 4 dudes. That's when people start messing with me. It's when I showed that I was a lot more powerful than they thought I was.
Right.
So to some extent I do sympathize with the shooter himself.
Yeah.
I don't think what these children, I'm gonna go and say it, children are trying to, put their own ideals into the political spectrum isn't right. These kids don't know enough. To have them go on talk shows and say that they're the experts on gun violence, they can go to hell.
And I have noticed the ones that do get attention are the ones that are speaking out against, I guess, really gun ownership. Like David Hogg and Gonzalez. I forget her first name, but there is Emma, yeah, and there is at least one student who is not in favor of restricting laws of gun violence. Yet he's not really on the news too often.
No, in fact, he was actually expelled from school for 2 weeks.
Oh, was he?
Yep, he was expelled from the school 2 weeks for not being sensitive enough to the town's plight.
Oh, really? So yeah, I think at least as far as listening to those students go, they've lost some integrity, I think, on that. But back to my question that I was forming about how gun-free zones might attract gun violence, but you have these nations that are effectively gun-free zones, yet we don't really see much shooting. We don't see comparable gun-violent crimes in these gun-free countries. At least I'm not aware. You've done the research. You might be able to say something different to this. But from where I'm sitting from, I haven't done much research. It looks like places like the United Kingdom have less, and Australia have less gun violence than the United States, despite these countries being gun-free zones. So what would your explanation to that be?
The UK in particular, their gun control is extremely strict. If you're within X amount of miles from, or kilometers, I guess, from a city with population of X or more, you are not allowed to own a gun. Period. If you're found to own a gun, you're cited with what they basically are a form of a felon. Now, you are still allowed to have single-shot rifle or muzzle loaders and stuff out in the countryside, just because you need it for your way of living. That is still allowed. That is, you're still allowed, but you have to go through the government to be able to purchase said weaponry. And a lot of it is, I mean, from my understanding, there's actually still some even like musket kind of weapons out there, which I guess is kind of what a muzzleloader is anyway, just with a star-rated barrel, But me and my wife were actually just talking about this one at dinner, and okay, like here in America, when do you think a crime is most commonly committed? Like
when a
burglary or theft or something like that.
When a crime is most likely committed, like a time?
Like what time during the day?
I'd imagine at night.
Yes, that would be correct. Most thieves commit their devious acts at nighttime because they're trying to be as sneaky and stealthy as possible. Now in the UK, most crimes are committed in the middle of the day, broad daylight. because they don't have to be afraid of somebody with a weapon being home and just blowing them away. They come in, and there's actually a recent story about an older gentleman, 72, 74 years old, somewhere around there, being burglarized. Him and his wife were being robbed by two guys, one with a big pipe, I think he said, the other one with a flathead screwdriver. The 72-year-old ended up getting stabbed 30 some odd times with this flathead screwdriver. Later on, bleeding out in the hospital. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd rather be stabbed by a knife than a blunt instrument.
I could see
criminals, no matter what the laws are. And in fact, I think it happened the day or 2 days after the recent Florida shooting over in China. Some guy with a knife just doubled those numbers. Just with a pocket knife, 3-inch pocket knife, doubled the kills of that kid. And then that was stifled in our news like that.
I'd imagine.
So it's not that, and there's multiple cases of people with machetes coming into residents' households, holding them at hostage with machetes, while the cops can do literally nothing. There's a video out there, and I can actually probably find it for you real quick if you wanted it, of one guy with a 3-inch long blade in the UK with 10 officers around him trying to get him down. 10 officers of the law versus one guy with a 3-inch blade. I'm telling you, that is ineffective. Honestly, one taser would have been good at that moment. Just a simple taser. You didn't need to do a lethal. If you didn't want lethal options, that's fine. I guess that's fine. But a taser would have worked just as well, just knocking that guy out so you can take control of him. The Australia is actually another interesting case all by itself. Is they had a shooting, I forget the name of it, but 100+ kids died in a school shooting back in 1996. A few months later, the government went together and said, all right, no more guns. We're confiscating every gun right now. With the exception of, hunting rifles, magazines less than 3 shots, that kind of thing. And the population pretty much went, yeah, okay, we get it, and just kind of gave away all the shit. The ones that kept their guns had to go in registered and VIN numbers taken and that kind of thing. Do you know what a bikie gang is?
A bikie gang?
A bikie gang.
I have no. It sounds like biker gang, but I have a feeling it's not.
You're right. No, you're right. It's how Australians call bikers. It sounds adorable.
Bikie gangs.
Erica made a point. It says, "Crikey, there's a bikie."
Crikey, there's a bikie.
But bikie gangs are the only people in Australia that basically have a gun. And when I say guns, from what I've read, what I understand, like a military grade, like fully automatic weapons. They go up and down the road, Mad Max style, robbing convenience stores, rob what they want. 70% of the time into the death of the shopkeepers and so on and so forth. They're violent and there's such high prominent. There's so many of them. They're so like brute force nasty. It's hard for the cops and authorities to stop them. So even in these gun exclusion zones, there are people with weapons. There are people that have a twisted mind. There's no way to regulate all those people with messed up mind. And all they want to do is watch the world that has done them wrong in their entire life burn to the ground. There's no way to stop that. So the best thing to do is to have, something in your power to be able to even the battlefield, which is a stick of the same or a bit larger size. Honestly, someone walks into my house right now, I got a 44 Magnum right here that I could do something with right now. I have an SKS over in the corner. I have a shotgun behind me. When I leave on the road, I know my wife is safe. I know my future family is safe. She knows how to use it. I've showed her how to use the weapons. She's very proficient with them. I don't have to worry about it. I trust her. I think she can take care of herself. If tomorrow they came out and said, all right, we're banning all guns, hand over your guns, they can come get mine. Because I'm not gonna leave my family defenseless.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, I guess backtracking a little bit, talking about you brought up arming teachers.
Yes.
Would you like to, I know you talked about a little bit, a few, minutes ago, but talk more about that, for a second.
You want the army teacher with guns, rocks, or with a punji stick with a bullet at the end of it? Which one do you want?
Well, which one do you want?
Alright, so small arms, like 22s, or honestly, just the presence of having a gun pointed at somebody is gonna, any kind of opposition to what they think is an easy route, they're gonna back down pretty quick. If one guy's like, if you're playing on easy mode, okay, and you're just walking around the campaign going, bam, 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 okay, this is kind of fun. They're just running from me. It's the opening scene of what, Call of Duty 2 or something. I saw your tweet earlier about Call of Duty 4.
Yeah. It's a good game. I enjoyed it.
Walking to the airport and these people that are unarmed just mowing them down. Which, by the way, you didn't have to do in the game.
Yeah, I never. That's from Modern Warfare 2. That's no Russian. I never played that level and shot anybody. I just couldn't.
You just gotta walk with them. You don't gotta shoot anybody.
Yeah, just walk and talk with the terrorists.
Yeah, but imagine that person like, oh yeah, this is fun, just killing whatever. Immediately is thrown into a PvP battle with other people that have guns that are just after you, no one else. The other teachers aren't shooting at each other. The teachers start joining you. No, it's one guy versus X amount of teachers that are in this room.
I tell me, not one teacher is like, you know what? Yeah, I hate this job, and pulls out their gun and joins the shooting.
But Rebecca, you talked down to me from the students last week and just pops you in the fucking kneecaps. I'm with the shooter now. like you're teaching and you're with your classroom, then you hear gunshots outside. You look out the window and there's a dude in the main outside area just shooting down people. Like, quickly pull out your gun and shoot the child you don't like, and say, he was a casualty of the shooting, and then jump into go against the shooter. I don't know. Every student's gonna be extremely nice at that point because they realize that my teacher's here to save my life if something goes wrong. What if you're Timmy and you're just like, oh, you don't have any right over us? I'm not gonna protect Timmy. Timmy's on his own.
I'm not gonna protect Timmy.
I'll act like it. Like, get behind you. No. Timmy, go lock the door. But the door swings outward. It's fine. Go. Bring the door to us.
But for more of the specifics of
Timmy
this.
shot.
Oh yeah, rip Timmy. Press F to pay respects.
Don't. He was an asshole. Don't confess that.
Oh. But for more clarification, what sort of policies? Like, are we talking about, say, schools paying funds to train teachers? Are we talking about teachers who already have a concealed carry to have it? Are we limiting which weapons they can have? Sort of, the nitty-gritty stuff like that.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Well, obviously I would advocate that be added to their training. Their training would consist of a teacher's license and possibly also consider weapons permit. During their course, their courses of them learning, they would also go and do their X amount of hours of gun training, part of their courses. And whether they would pay for that out of the college tuition or they would pay for that, or the school board would pay for that, it's just kind of up to discussion there. That's more of a, who wants to spend what funds. I know personally in our town we have a female shooting class, I guess, that the sheriff's department holds. Which they don't let men. There's not a male version of this, which I don't think is very right, but whatever. But they get a certificate at the end of that class saying that they've gone through their firearm training courses. Therefore, they're able to take that piece of paper and go get their concealed weapons permits. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is they're like, oh yeah, you have to have a concealed weapons permit to even have a gun on you. Not true. You can just have a gun. You can just have a gun on your side as long as you're not trying to conceal it. That's your Second Amendment right.
Huh.
I don't care what you say. Now, private property is a different story. A lot of hospitals have that, no firearms on premises. That's a private property issue. They don't want you to have guns on the premises. That's their right. Whether it's dumb or not is irrelevant. That's their right. Schools are just kind of the same way. They're owned by the city or county, depending on what kind of province, kind of county it is. But it's kind of up to that, like whether they want to have part of the curriculum or how they want to train their teachers how to use these weapons. Use weapons. Now down here in Georgia, it's not much of an issue. Most people are raised around guns their entire lives. Most of us know how to respect the weapon, the firearm, just as well as anyone else. It's when you get like further up north into the more blue states, I'm gonna go and say, when gun laws are guns are a little more of a rarity in a sense, where you don't see them every day, you don't handle them every day, so you get very ignorant with them. That's when you have to worry. Ignorance is the key. Ignorance is what causes these issues. You've never had, as far as my knowledge, you've never had a gun-fearing person, person who shoots guns for a living, NRA member, or whatever, go and just commit one of these huge crimes. But I'm getting a little bit off topic here. But that is school situation. I don't really think there's much more I can really say on that one. Besides, like I said, the schools need to, allow at least one people. Because here's one. And this story was on the news for maybe 30 minutes, not even an hour, I don't think, about the security guard that stopped a shooter, an active shooter on his school. He was armed. He was not supposed to be armed. He was armed because the previous thing that happened in South Florida. A shooter about to come to school. He saw him, getting ready, and just popped him a few times. Popped him in school. Went into lockdown. That was handled beautifully from the news report I've read. It was handled perfectly.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
He went in, got the gun, handcuffed the guy, got the police to come in, took him out. The ambulance came and got him, and it was all done. You know what stopped it? A guy that knew how to use this firearm, an ex-cop.
Sort of on that line, would you say that the option of arming teachers, as you discussed earlier, is that a preferable option over an increasement of school resource officers?
I would say that kind of goes hand in hand, honestly, because as of right now, usually how many resource officers a school has is one depending on the crime rate in the area or the delinquency of the students themselves. I don't know. This is a great example. My high school in particular, had 2 or 3 resource officers, depending on what year it was, I guess. And they kind of stayed around the school. They kind of wandered around, but they really took care of the rowdy kids. They did a really good job. Now these officers are also armed to the teeth. They had their handcuffs, pepper sprays, a gun, and 6 mags. They were kitted out, given they were a couple of the more lazy cops I've ever met. And they were actually cops. They weren't like just rent-a-cops. They were legitimate cops that the county hires. They have a rank, they have a badge, they're just like cops like anybody else. They can arrest anyone, just like a normal cop would. That's why I befriended them early on. Now more would be nice, honestly. I think it should be handled like most colleges, in a sense. Most colleges have a security, director, and they have like 4 or 5 guys underneath them.
Right.
I think this should probably depend on maybe the population of the students, the density of the students, how many like per capita essentially. Like you have like a classroom. What is it, Erica? How many students is it per teacher usually supposed to be? It's supposed to be. I thought it was like 28 per teacher, something like that. About 32 per teacher. Okay. So yeah, like Erica's a registered teacher. And honestly, she would have, even her being as sketchy she is with guns sometimes, I would like to have have you? If you would have a gun. Okay, yeah. So maybe do something like that, like for every like 100 students, 200 students, have one officer or something like that. That's a pretty fair amount because I mean, it's not like every student's gonna riot out and stuff, you know.
Ultrox says, my high school security officer was an overweight, balding old woman who was armed with a whistle.
You deserve a school shooting.
Jesus. Jesus. My high school had about 2 resource officers and they were armed.
Tickled the shit out of Erica.
Yeah.
I knew their favorite thing you were going to say to someone when they pissed me off.
This is why I'm a clown in your game, Ultrox. Christ.
Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
Next question.
Next, let's see. Which do I want to go for? I had something and now I forgot it. Give me a moment.
Wait, did you say balding old woman?
Balding old woman. That was his words.
What? Oh yeah, you're right.
Hey.
Also, I think there is this statistic that, like, I sometimes see this statistic brought up in an argument against the inclusion of more resource officers, and it's that the more resource officers you have, it's actually more likely that crime will be done in your school. I'm like, oh, you mean if there are more enforcers of the law to report crimes, you see an increase in reported crimes? Like,
because more crimes are happening, or not because more crimes are happening, because more are being caught.
Yes, yeah, it's like, okay, guys, all right, Jimmy just told us that we have a new resource officer. That means we have to double our efforts to do crime here.
So, Jeremy, I need you to go graffiti in this stall at this time. I need you to smoke behind the dumpsters.
And like,
Greg, I need you to come in with an assault rifle. On the 3rd of March at 2:20, when everybody's getting packed up for the day.
And then, like, his assistant's like, dude, wait, if we make him do stuff, that won't fit the statistic of like the exact percentage of crime increase. So we can't go over our limit.
These kids aren't passing math. You think they're gonna pass this kind of shit?
Oh boy. Let's see.
Let me see Emma Gonzalez's fucking GPA and stuff. Let's see how this goes.
Oh.
By the way, the other guy, the Hogs or whatever his fucking name is. Hodges.
Hogs.
Whatever it is. His story has changed like 3 fucking times.
Yeah.
I was on the bus. I was this, and then finally we got news. I was there. I was running from the gunman.
Maybe one day I'll change to I was the gunman.
Eventually, yes, I framed him because he was a nerd in school when I bullied him. I just want to see people scream, run from me. Emma, I shot your friend with a full clip because you wouldn't suck.
Is this episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? It's gonna turn out Cruz was actually like Anakin, that Hogs turned to the dark side.
Hogs, I have the high ground. You underestimate my gun skills, Emma. And then he shoots her.
Jesus Christ.
Because high ground doesn't matter with bullets. All the fucking sabers like a nerd.
Oh, what are we doing right now? We're turning a national tragedy into Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Oh no. Subscribe to the channel while you can, guys. It's getting taken down tomorrow.
Oh fuck.
It's like
Erica. Erica actually brought me up to a thing talking about how they're trying to lower the voting age to, what was it, 16 or something? Yeah, to 16. And honestly, yes, 16 and 17-year-old voters. Because, when you're younger, you tend to vote more, Democratic than you do Republican. Because you think the world should hand you what you don't deserve. Like Starbucks. And lattes. And whatnot. Whatever you kids like. Or
Whatever you kids. I think YouTube accurately predicted this video's demonetization.
But I was just thinking. I was like, okay, yeah, you let all the kids, 16, 17-year-olds vote. That's fine. You're just thinking about the kids in your blue states that are going to vote Democratic. I think you underestimate how much the southern population reproduces. Because when I started school back in elementary school, okay? When I started school here in this area, let me rephrase that. When I started school back in elementary school, there was 300 and some odd children, okay, in that elementary school. The elementary school nowadays we're breaking 1,200 in America. That's why they had to build a new elementary school. They're breaking 1,200 kids.
Well, how many of them are white though? Because the conservative
2%.
population of the South tends to be white. When we see population increases in the South, it's typically more of the Hispanic demographic group.
No, it's black here.
In my area, it's definitely Hispanic.
Druid Sandstorm? No. Druid Sandstorm playing on my phone. I don't want to talk to you people right now. Trying to change the world, one podcast with two viewers at a time.
Darn right.
One of which is me.
Let's see.
Yo, it's Ultrox.
We should really move the legal age of adulthood to around 40. Yeah, those 39-year-olds don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you can't become centered and stuff till what, like you're 30 or 40 years old? Something like that? 35?
Somewhere in that ballpark.
The bad thing is, whenever I'm watching one of your streams, that Transformer video is always up from Flash Gifts. It's always a recommended video.
What Transformer thing?
The Transformer with Megatron having tits.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a recommendation on my list. I don't know why.
Well, alright, so let's move away from school shootings. Let's go to, gun violence in general. Talking about...
That's the dream.
Talking about gun violence in general? That's the dream?
No. Getting away from school shootings.
Oh, okay.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. Anything you have to say on that? How do we... let's see. See, I know basic statistics involving general gun violence in the United States. I know more about school shootings specifically.
Okay.
But, well, how would you assess the gun violence situation in the United States, I guess, is the question.
It's actually down.
Oh, interesting.
In current years. Let's put it this way. One of the arguments that a lot of people use is, oh, think about the children. Think about the kids, they're gonna find the gun and go, oh, I wonder what a bullet tastes like. The first study that I found was placed right before the Clinton administration. Okay, it was, now these are ballpark numbers. I can't remember the study off the top of my head. Was about 220 between in that previous 5-year period. Which in 5 years, honestly isn't awful. With what is it, 2.3 million people in the U.S. at the time, or whatever it is. I don't know what the actual number of the population is. I'm holding my breath. I don't know why. But there was more of a recent study given 10 years ago, I guess, at this point, where that number was actually down to 148, somewhere around there. 148 child deaths by accidental gunshot wounds. Now, is that because gun laws changed? I don't think so. I do think one good thing has happened with people bringing guns to the light. The dangers of using a firearm improperly, and that is that you're more conscious of it. You're being more aware that what your children are doing. That's why those numbers have gone down, not because of the laws themselves, just because you brought up awareness of it. Like honestly, I don't want to sound like insensitive to breast cancer awareness or anything like that, but honestly, people know it exists. People know this is here. It's a pretty common thing. Cancer is everything we do in our daily lives. Maybe please don't let your kids shoot themselves in the face month. The name could probably be worked on a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though that's a very catchy name. You know, I'm gonna go trademark. I'm gonna trademark that right now.
Oh boy. Okay, old trucks. Go on.
Oh, what you got? What you got?
Well, I'd move on to a new subject, but if you have more to say.
I'm hungry for some bullets right now.
Okay.
There are no assault rifles do not exist.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I was about to say, Ultrax has a good question. I know the immediate answer to it.
Now, the basic answer example I gave to Eric earlier was that the only way an assault weapon may possibly be considered an assault weapon, okay, is if I take it by the barrel and start assaulting you with it. And let me rephrase the way I'm saying that. I am assaulting you with this gun.
If I threw a piece of this,
beating you with this gun.
If I threw a piece of this Hot Pocket cardboard pocket at you, it would be an assault pocket.
We're gonna ban it. It needs to be banned.
Needs to
be banned. Is it a bump stock pop stock? Is it a bump stock one? Is it a bump stock pop tart wrapper?
Pop tart wrapper? Hot Pocket. Yo, it gotta be spicy. It's like a grenade.
Jesus Christ. Granada!
Granada!
Hot Pocket! I'm sorry, just saying that the same cadence as a Granada! Hot Pocket! Just throwing it. Oh god, it hurt worse than a grenade.
And Old Truck says, I think the name is really not the important part. I think it is when it comes to making legislation, and that's what you say in the legislation.
Yeah. When you're calling something an assault weapon, I need to know what you consider an assault weapon, because the only thing that are classified as assault weapons are the occasional military-style fully automatic weapons, which are already illegal in the U.S.
So, what was the weapon that was used in the specific Florida shooting?
Yeah, actually, that's something I was gonna look up before this. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me look that up. Actually, so I'm really curious. I actually think he said it was just. I think it was just a rifle, just like a normal single-shot rifle. My boom.
Thought it was an AR-15.
To be honest with you. I just had the okay, never mind, fuck it. Weapon used in Florida school shooting. Let's see, what is it? Motherfucker, you showing okay, so the picture they used is actually a AR with a bump stock on it. AR-15s, 10 specifications, calibers 122, bullets. Wow, that's you know when you say, you know, this is good because this is good. The way the weapon's caliber is a .223, meaning the bullet is 0.23 inches in diameter. In some rifles, it's compared to the M16's long. No, it is not. It is a very similar shape. Okay, so they're saying the 223 ammo is very similar to that of a M16's. It is not. The M16 is a much more powerful shell. It's also the M16 is also a fully automatic weapon. With the AR-15 is a best it can do is burst fire of 2 or 3 shots, and even that's going out the door pretty soon. Mostly they're very trigger sensitive. They're basically they can fire as fast as you pull the trigger. That's not fully automatic. That's just having a very sensitive trigger. Fastest bullet travels around. That's actually accurate. Why is the AR-15 popular with gun owners? They're great fucking weapons. They're very personalizable. Whatever. AR-15s are highly customizable from projectile set from AR-15 shooting actions from however you want to describe it. So that you can make it. It does have very low recoil. That is true. You can also get banana clips for it, which personally I am on the person on the fence about banana clips. Banana clips can hold anywhere from 10 bullets up to like. No, actually, no. There is a law about that. Actually, there's a law saying you can't have more than 10 bullets in a mag. So if you do find one that holds more than 10 bullets, it's illegal. Yeah. Okay. Now you can me using an AR-15 board, you can reload them pretty quick. Just one button. If you don't care about your magazine at all, you can hit one button and it falls out pretty quickly, and you can reload another one with 5 to 10 extra shots in it already. That's what makes it a little more, I guess, dangerous. But then again, I can do the same thing with my SKS, and my SKS can fire armor-piercing rounds. My SKS is actually rated for 30-round a drum magazine. My SKS is far more dangerous than any kind of AR-15. I can shoot through brick walls if I have a certain kind of ammo from my SKS.
All right, then I think I guess the begged question there is, why is such a, I guess, dangerous weapon, or such extraordinary ability, available for use for a citizen, a general civilian?
You talking about the SKS?
Sure.
It's not.
So why do you have it?
My grandfather stole it from the military.
Ah, okay, I got you.
Now there are versions that are more popular that the normal public can have. I'm talking about mine in particular. Mine is battle tested. Mine is made for military. Mine is definitely not legal. I'm not gonna go out and use it for any nefarious purpose. I go out and shoot it, have fun with it. That's about it. Use the same kind of ammo an AR-15 does, at least the ones I can buy. If I want anything like more dangerous that are like arm piercing, brick piercing, that kind of crap, I have to find different means or make it them myself, which I have the means to do. But again, I am a responsible gun owner, and I would not do that. Now, I do have a client that he talks about, how him and his buddies have a bunch of dumb shit and they blow up thermite in their backyards. I'm not a part of that crap. I respect weapons. I use them as tools or that of recreation. I also do have another buddy that's on that. He's not on there yet. He's trying to get on the Olympics shooting team, rifle shooting team, which he's very close to. Which pray for him, I guess. Now, this weapon, the more consumer-friendly SKSs are a lot more dumbed down. They don't have a reinforced barrel, so they can't handle high explosive rounds like that of the tank, the armor piercing, that kind of thing. They're back during the Vietnam War. They became popular. They became popular for the U.S. citizens just because of how reliable they are. If something goes wrong, you can literally just take apart, and you can use the M16 parts on the SKSs if you need to. If you need them pinched, like, okay, this barrel's busted, or this one's fine, I can take this part out here and put it in a patch it in place. They're very, very versatile weapon. So that's where they gained a lot of popularity. Now, what the AR-15 has that the SKS doesn't is tacticality. You can add so many attachments to an AR-15. And basically, you're just holding a brick of metal in a sense. Let's put it this way: my father, his souped up AR-15 has a laser pointer flashlight, and a night vision scope. This night vision scope is amazing. It can see heat signatures and it can it can see the night just in general. The reason why he has it is he goes, you know, coyote hunting, and they're only at a night. He uses it again for hunting and ridding farmland of predators that would hurt their cows and their livestock. And because I think he kind of just likes killing things, honestly. I use my more recreational. I like shooting targets. I like honing my skills and my abilities if I need to use them. There has been one time in my past where I have almost shot a gentleman. Robbed my parents' house, and lucky for that guy, my father didn't have a shotgun. Because I was right. Before I realized there's no ammo, I would fire like 3 or 4 shots.
Yeah.
Now that's also something kind of interesting. Also notice shotguns hold near about the same amount of ammo, you know, limited by law that an AR-15 can hold. The only difference is the AR-15 has more range than that of a shotgun. But a shotgun with a slug round is going to do far more damage than that of an AR-15 bullet. AR-15, a slug out of a shotgun is, I want to say it's a little over half an inch, you know, in diameter. I gotta look at the statistics on that. I'm trying to put it off the top of my head. And you know, is a very blunt force trauma. It's going to hit and then tear all the way through. While that of an AR-15 bullet is, you know, again, you know, 0.223 inches wide, or you know, that of an millimeter wide, you know, and it's a very sharp bullet. It goes straight through, and it'll just slice like a knife through it. Those are very easy wounds to fix. It's not as dangerous as a shotgun slug. Not only that, there's not too many regulations on, say, shotguns themselves. Shotguns I find are far more dangerous than that of what they're considering assault rifles.
So if you were to go shoot up a school, would you go in with a shotgun instead of an AR-15?
If I was to go, like, am I doing this legally? Like, if I had to go buy this stuff legally?
If you're doing a school shooting legally, if you're buying it legally, yeah, probably not.
All right, so if I was to go and just get anything I wanted, essentially, what you're asking me.
Yeah.
Like, what would I figure the ultimate load? The ultimate load is an M29 Garand with a 200-round belt-fed clip and armor-piercing rounds. It's fully automatic, holds 200 shots, and I can shoot through walls with it. I can stand outside the school and take out everybody in that building.
Dang.
Now, if I want to stay with the law, here, okay, and buy everything legally, go through all the legal, it would take me about 2 weeks to get ready, let's say, because I have to wait for paperwork to go through, I have to wait for my fingerprints to be ran, I have to wait for background checks to be done, and now if I have like a felony or any kind, I definitely can't do this.
Right.
If I have any kind of do not fly lists, or if anybody submitted any kind of like mental warnings to any kind of government facility, like me personally, I've had to do some psych tests for some of these military facilities I've gone into. Luckily, I've checked out clean with all of them, rightly enough, and have been cleared to go into facilities. Therefore, you know, if they ran a mental background check, I would be cleared for that reason. I do think that test should be redone once every 5 years, just to keep the books up until your mental stability. So there are functioning sociopaths, which, you know, we can't account for all of them. Primus included.
Oh yeah, okay. Because I have a genetic empathy deficiency. I'm now a sociopath.
Yep, that was the point.
You know, I think it's to my advantage. It allows me to make Star Wars Episode 3 jokes about school shootings.
I have the high ground, Hodge. I have an AR-15.
Oh, you underestimate the gun's power. I'm planning on turning some of these streams into highlights, like a highlight compilation. I gotta include some of that crap in it.
Oh, also, most gun violence aren't caused by that of a rifle. Which, by the way, you can buy a rifle at the age of 18. You can buy any kind of rifle, any kind of shotgun. But what most crimes are caused by are that of handguns. Handguns, 9mm, you can buy for a couple $100 cheap, and you can get clips that hold 15 bullets as standard on these guns, because there's not many laws that on handguns. The only law that really matters is you have to be 21 years or older to buy them. So you make sure you can drink while you're using them, you know.
Yeah, we want to ensure that.
Most crimes are committed by handguns because they're easily concealed. You know, not good guys aren't bad guys aren't gonna follow the law. It's like, oh, you can't hide that gun. You can't hide that gun unless you have a concealed weapons permit. That person's gonna shoot you because you know his secret. It's a secret. That's a secret, Cap. I'm always packing.
Sounds about right.
You know, so you haven't heard of it? Like I was a little bit of recap. You haven't heard of That's right. I don't know why they threw me off so much. An NRA person going and committing these crimes. You haven't heard of gun right act? Not gun right activists, but you basically anybody that knows how to use a gun properly and respects a gun, causing these crimes. It's always the gangbangers, the people that have no respect, don't know how to use a gun. My father personally would not even let me have a Nerf gun when I was a child because he didn't want me to think pointing a gun at somebody was a good idea. My always thought if you were pointing a gun at somebody, you better be ready to shoot that person.
So
wait, I was just reading this actually. I just finished reading what was on the screen. Well, many AR-15s can be purchased for less than $1,000. Side script stocks and other accessories cost hundreds of dollars. They're saying that you can buy this 100-drum magazine costing $116, and there's no waiting period. In Florida, there's no waiting period. That is false. That is 100% false. Wow. That's a lie on this page.
So I guess that's a good transition to how as important of a subject it is, how, I guess, reporting media, news media, do you think they're really handling the topic with integrity or reliably, I guess?
That's all I care about. It's getting them views, that's all they care about. News outlets nowadays are not worried about reporting what has happened. They're worried about views. They're worried about what they're making. They're worried about money, which I get the reason why. I honestly do. They're now fighting more or less with online news sources, and that's why they started the whole war against quote-unquote fake news. When I can't trust the news they're telling me is factual. I can't. There was a oh god, what story was it? It was a story over in Pensacola, Florida. I remember watching on the news while on a business trip, and oh shit, what was it? Okay, so they assumed something essentially. They assumed something like, oh, the shooter was doing this, that, and the other, and then like an hour later, realized, oh no, it was actually this. It was something not, like trivial and minute, but the minute they snapped to it, they're like, he fucking murdered this many people and did it because of these reasons, and it's a hate crime. It's like, no, he was fired from this place, and that's what it was. He was fired from place. He came in with a 22 handgun, 22 caliber handgun. They immediately reported that it was a automatic rifle, and that he killed 30 people. He killed one person, wounded another, and then took his own life. But they immediately said it was an assault rifle and all this. They jumped to conclusion, then like the story up and go like, no, more stuff's come out. It actually was this. We got bad information. From who? You guessed. No officer told you that.
Yeah, that's why I think during breaking stories, you need to, unless you have 100% confirmation, say we have unconfirmed reports of such and such and such and such.
Yeah, actually, the YouTube shooting, I think they did that fairly well, because they used a lot of that. It was happening at this time. We heard she has this, but she just had a little handgun. They didn't report that she had some big artillery kind of weapon.
Yeah.
I think they did an okay job trying to, just don't try to give news like it's an action story. Tell me the facts. Tell me a non-biased fact, and let me make my own opinion on this fact, on what you've told me. Don't try to persuade me to your side.
It's like
every news station, besides local news stations, have an agenda, have people that are paying them money. CNN is a great example of that. I don't trust CNN. I don't watch CNN. CNN can go to hell. The news stations I really like are local stations. The local town stations, I'm loving to death. There's feel-good stories. You won't believe what this puppy did last week. Please tell me what that puppy did last week. I want to know. Did he rip a guy's face off? No, he actually hugged somebody. Like, he gets him to hug people. Oh, what? You don't see that anymore. You don't. I want to hear about how the cow won, you know, the blue ribbon for having an extra tail or something. Instead of, this cow went on a rampage and killed... Actually, I would like that story as well. That would be a story. Like, how it killed that many people. I think it would be trust, because honestly, you see a cow, you're not immediately going to think, oh, it's going to murder me. It's, oh, it's cow.
it's we're gonna murder it.
Man, I gotta make about 300 more McDoubles from you. Come on.
Ultrox says the Florida school shooting was committed by Anakin Skywalker, and everything else is fake news.
Agreed. He was reincarnated. Actually, can somebody edit Anakin's hair onto Hobbs? Hobbs, whatever his name is.
The Hogs.
Can we do that and then put the little scar on one of his eyes?
Well, I think the story we were going with Hogs was the Emperor, and and Cruz was Anakin. But as we...
It's just allergies. I am the Senate.
As we come towards the closing of the stream, I guess...
the fucking frog's gay!
Oh, yeah. I guess we can touch up on the last subject. There are some people who believe that the ultimate solution, the final solution, you might say, to gun violence in the United States, in the context of the United States, is for pretty much a complete, or effectively complete, recall, full ban of firearms in general, I guess. And what are your thoughts? Is that sort of an overreactionary thing? Will a ban like that improve? Maybe not be a perfect solution, but improve statistics involving gun crime, or what would you say? What have you found?
Come and get them. I mean, in all actuality, come try to take my firearms. I'm gonna use my Second Amendment right to make sure you're not impeding my rights as an American citizen. Honestly, I believe, going back to what we were talking earlier about, you know, the countries that, you know, used to fully allow weaponry, how safe they used to be. You know, I think that's the way we should go. We need to lessen the ban, to let more people have guns, let guns be more available. Of course, make guns more of a more common in a sense. Make children aware of guns at an early age. There's a old anime. I'm trying to remember what it was. There's an old anime where they actually had a shooting class. Can't remember what the fuck the anime was. But they had a shooting class, and the teacher was actually teaching the kids about these young teens, whatever, about weapon safety and all that. I think that's where we need to go. Have it as a credited class in schools. You know, actually have where you can go out, shoot blanks to understand how guns feel, be able to, you know, do target practice. And a lot of people nowadays are gonna say, "Oh, you're trying to train kids how to shoot up schools." No, I'm trying to bring up the safety issues, let you know how to use this effectively. You know, there's not really a homework. Oh, go out and backyard, shoot 3 cans, and show me a picture of you shooting these cans. No, just in school. It's basically like a PE class.
You know, I guess anime really does give us the best life lessons.
If you see a girl with her rear end stuck in a wall,
okay.
Help her out, of course. She's stuck. Help her.
Right.
What do you think?
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing you were.
We watched that horse crawl anime that Drake Edition mentioned earlier.
So I get. All right.
Sandy Hooks was faked. Sandy Hooks was faked. The liberal agenda had this.
My frog is gay, and I'm personally very proud of his courage.
Your frog's a lie.
The frog's
The aliens in
alive.
my head told me so.
Oh.
They're turning the fucking frogs gay.
Okay.
I think my Alex Jones impression is pretty good. I think it's a good solid impression of Alex Jones.
I think it's fine. You need to add more of that sound that you ate a barrel of rocks.
I just so happen to have a barrel of like many things here.
Oh boy. That's the key to success. There we go. There's the real Alex Jones.
Fuck, it's worth it for art.
It's worth it for art. That's a mantra.
It's worth it for the arts. Let's see, my frog is gay personally. I'm very proud of him. Courage the gay frog. And he was very naughty.
Oh boy. But thank you guys all for coming out today. Thank you, Twisted Ambition, for being here as co-host.
Twitty and bitty.
Twitty and Biddy, okay.
Twitty and bitty.
So for those of you who are watching this archive, subscribe if you have not yet. Primus Prime Time, live every 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Discord channel is in the description. One day, if we get big enough, we'll take calls. But in order for us to get big enough, you gotta come in and join the community. Know what I'm saying? Next episode will be a lot more like. Actually, next episode I'm gonna be taking the lead in the conversation because, I just have a lot of things to talk about regarding the subject, and the subject is going to involve. We're gonna have to temporarily, for that hour of time, temporarily lift the ban on Transformers and talking about it on this channel.
Am I still co-hosting that one?
Yeah. It's mostly me talking about decisions made by a comic book company.
Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about this, yeah.
Yeah. The IDW universe. Yep.
So at the end of the stream, we're going to do an ASMR hosted by me.
Are we?
We are now.
Oh boy. Links to all Twisted stuff is in the description, by the way. Oh no.
ASMR. Eric, give me a piece of steak.
Let me just turn off the music so they can hear your voice.
This is what you want.
Yeah, Alright, I'm going to get this piece of steak right here. Enjoy this ASMR, you guys, just a good piece of steak. That's good. I need some water. It's dry. I'm gonna wash it down with some tequila. Hang on a second. Wish it smell of vision. It smells awful. It's good tequila. Oh shit, it's so strong. Alright guys. Thank you for watching the Primus Prime Time. Like and subscribe below if you want more ASMR. And don't forget they're turning the fucking frogs gay. Have a great night.
All right, thank you guys for coming out. We'll see you next time.